Mallett from Mallett Buildings. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to go over permits, codes, and contractors at Ascension Parish and Tangipahoa Parish. That's what we do on Tuesdays. So thank you for joining. So let's get started. Somebody done mess up my chair. Got me too low there. Whoa. Well, I guess I have to stand. Okay, let's get started. All right, we always give a $500 discount. Healthcare workers, educators, first responders, military personnel. If you notice, we advertise it. My competitors don't do that, and I wonder why. Do they really offer it? They say they do, but if you don't advertise it, I wonder how you know if they really do it. So keep that in mind. We do it here. All right. Tiger Cash, you come by Signature Elite Building, we're going to give you $1,000 cash. Just type it on that deal right there. When you come by your building, you get a $1,000 discount every day. Hey, this is one of the things that if you're going to buy a building, check this out. Every day or every week, we tell you where we're at. It tells you our ability. Right now, in Texas alone, we have 37 projects going. Come into Louisiana, have 69. Folks, when you start talking about buying from a company, imagine the logistics to take care of all these locations. And that's just 1 week. Next week, it'll change again. This goes on every week at Mallett Buildings. My competitors do not have the ability to do this. So I question their ability to do anything, okay? After 26 years, this is what you can do. If you're going to do business with someone who's been doing it for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, be careful. They might tell you they do what we do, but they don't. Now let's look at Louisiana. In Louisiana, this is the projects. We've got under construction, plumbing projects, concrete, on the ground, control joints, finishers, inspections, gutters, and farms. All over the state. I think this is one of the most impressive things that we do show you, so they show our ability to take care of you. We're worth waiting for. Apparently, all these people think we're worth waiting for. We are 15 to 16 weeks behind. That's because people wait to get the best. It's kind of like going to a restaurant. You don't go to a restaurant if you don't have a line. It doesn't mean the food ain't good. Well, the food's good here. And we challenge you to come here anytime you want, take a tour on the plant and see why we have the ability to do this. Texas, we have construction, concrete, control joints, finishers, on the ground, farms, and gutters. And look where we're scattered out throughout Texas. No other company in the post frame is doing this. And that should put your mind at ease. Now we'll talk about our specials. Hey, we still got those Cajun Oasis, the classic. This is a hell of a deal, folks. Temperature control, climate control building that you can use for outdoor kitchen, gatherings. You won't have to worry about heat or cold. It's one hell of a package because look, you get $49,999 and it's got electrical. That's a $16,000 value that should be added to this, but because we're Mallett Buildings, we can offer it to you for $49,999. You need to come, if you're building a building and you need climate control, and none of the other competitors I know of are even doing this. And this is a 5-ton unit. It's going to get cold, it's going to get warm. Or you can come get the Oasis, the Elite unit. It's temperature, climate, but it's the Elite package, which means it comes with everything the Elite building has. 145 mile an hour wind load. Also always remember, all our buildings come with 170 mile an hour wind load on the roof. All our trusses are designed at 170 miles per hour. So if you're looking for a temperature, climate control building, this is the ticket. And these prices are really good prices. When you start looking on a per square foot basis for a temperature controlled building, it's really inexpensive. What we got? Chad, no, it's good. Agree swung by a building while they were in check-in. Great. You're welcome, Mr. Tackett. All right, let's see what we got. Hey, this week, or this month, and I think we got how many left? 16? Okay, so right now, on an Elite building, we still got 16 left. The man of the house will get a hunting camera, and this is a nice one. And we're going to give a $250 gift card for the lady. We'll send that $250 to the whoever you pick in your area because we cover such a large area. So you pick the place, the spa place. We'll send them the money, and you're taken care of. But they've only got 16 left in this month. So if you want this package, come get a Mallett building. That's on an Elite building. What's the football mean? Huh? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what a lot of y'all are looking at. We have this. Last week and we should be getting some pictures. I happened to be at the game and happened to visit with the two people that got the tickets. And I think we've got some pictures. I don't know if you're going to show those pictures today. Tomorrow. We'll show this picture tomorrow. But not this weekend because we're going to Vanderbilt. LSU is. Next weekend we play Texas A&M. We have 2 tickets. That's going to be on the 30-yard line. You're going to get 2 field passes, and you get a parking spot that's about 50 yards from the door. Those field passes, folks, are hard to get. Very few people have been able to walk onto the field. Last weekend, both winners went on the field. And if you are an LSU fan, you've probably been in the stands, probably in the nosebleed. You won't be in the nosebleed, and you're parked right here. I mean, it's close. But let me tell you, those field passes, you're going to enjoy that because it's something to remember. Now, just like we offer that, my competitors try to offer stuff, but it's not even close to what we do there either. Okay, you're praying that you win. Okay, well I hope your prayers work for you. But anyway, we're going to be doing this. So you got time between now and next when y'all going to pull the drawing? 21st. On the 21st, we'll have the drawing for these 2 tickets. And remember, we also have after this game, we're going to have the Arkansas game and the Southeastern game. We're going to be doing this to every game the rest of the season. So if you don't win here, just stay tuned. But the next week we'll be at it again for you. All right. If you see an emoji, post an emoji. If you find the hidden emoji in our live stream, comment it during the live, and you will get an extra entry to the LSU AM ticket giveaway. How do y'all know they do that? I know that, but how do you know they found it? Oh, you have your ways. So you see, now don't try to get silly here. They say they know how to check you out. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, we always got our ambassador program. Hey, if you're willing to, if you bought a building or you're willing to send friends, join the ambassador program. We had 3 levels. We send you a bunch of hats, different things, different prizes we give. And we also send you a $200 check if you send anybody here that buys a building from us. Hold on a second. Somebody's trying to call me. It's not important. Okay, let's keep going. Now, just remember you can join any one of these programs, and we'd love to have you. Now, I always talk about the red flags. Folks, if you're going to buy a building, you need to check this out. Go to the Secretary of State, see how many years in business these people have been operating. Okay, and can they operate right now? Because you've got to refile this every year. They may not even be eligible to do business in Louisiana. So check that out. Now, a real place you need to go to the licensed LSLBC. That's going to tell you what they really are. Are they a licensed contractor? Are they a home improvement? What are they? And then look, right here. If they've been caught breaking state law and been convicted by us, and I'm chairman of the State Contractors Board, why would you take a chance on hiring someone to build your building who's been caught breaking the law? That's not a good sign. That's a serious red flag, and I tell you, you need to consider it because I get to watch people come before me and the board and see some terrible stories, and I'd hate for you to be one of those stories. Go to the reviews on the BBB and Google. Why? Because that's where you find out really what's going on. We have over 650 on BBB and Google. My competitors hardly have any. The closest one's about 114, but he has 413 negative reviews. So you really need to check this thing out and dig into this thing before you go any farther. After 26 years, I assure you, we know what we're doing. And look, visit the contractor's facility. If they're operating out of a little office like brokers do, and we got 2 of them that do that, okay, or they're going to your house in their truck or their car, or operating like that, that's a red flag. So what we have out there, I know 2 competitors, and if you want to do it, give me a call, tell you they are. They got 2 little storefront things they rent, and they pick up the phone and they call a company in Sulphur. They buy the kit, they send it to the company drives the kit because they got no equipment, they got no truck, they got nothing. And they ship it to the job, then they pick up the phone, and they call a builder they got, and they pay him by the square foot, and then they tack on to you. That's what they are. There's 2 of them. And if you want to know who they are, give me a call. I'll tell you who they are. Or do your research. It's not hard to figure out. But why do you want to do business with a broker? Because that's what they are. What you got? I can't see.
Need someone to call me back, please, ready for coffee.
Okay, well, tell,
Jeremy?
yeah, tell Jeremy. They'll tend to that for you. Just remember, folks, if you ain't got a facility, if you ain't got no equipment, be careful. These cats are in the business of making money, and will they be there in a year? Will they be there in 2 years? Will they be there? They got no investment. They're brokers. Probably never built a building. All right, now, the classic building, my competitors build what we call a similar, only thing is what we call like our classic. Now look, We're standard at 26 gauge. They're going to come in at 29. Some may do 26, but on standard, they're normally at 29. They're standard at 4 and 12. I'm standard at 5 and 12. I got a higher pitch. My water's going to shed better. And I can tell you right now, it looks better than a 4 and 12. Truss size, 2x6, only 2x8s on every building at Mallet. Okay? It's bigger. It's stronger. And my 2x8 scissor trusses, standard. They would do it, but they're going to charge you. But they're not going to give you that 2x8. And then we get to the 170 mile per hour rating. Folks, the roof, you lose the roof on your building, you lose your building. That's why we put 170 mile an hour on all our buildings. Our classic is rated 135 miles an hour. The roof has 170 mile an hour trusses on it. We're the only people doing that. My elite is 145 miles an hour, but my truss is 170 miles an hour. Okay? And we do that purposely. We build the best building in the business. I'm not just talking, that's a fact, because they don't do that. How about the cable retention system, the Mallet cable retention system? They don't do that. That's for uplift protection. How about posting, they put their posts in dirt and ground. I'm going to put it in concrete under every post and build a pad so you have no sinkage. You get into 2x12 headers, we use only 2x12. They're going to use 2x8s. Why? Because they're cutting costs. We're only going to put the best materials on that building for you. 4,000 PSI, they're going to come in at 3,000 PSI. 33% stronger. Skirt board guard, they're not going to put that. So the concrete and the dirt and everything, it touches your wood. I don't want nothing to touch your wood. That's why we use post protectors, and that's why we use this, but skirt board. They don't do that. 4-year workmanship warranty, they're going to go at 1 to 2. They're saying number 2 or untreated, but you got to watch them. I use nothing but number one lumber in all my buildings, MCA ground treated, kiln dried lumber. Ground treated. Be careful. Number 2, unless you check the stamp, you could get caught buying number 2, not number 1. And it could be not ground treated. And I'm afraid that's what's going on out there. Because you pay for this. You pay for the best. That's why we put the best on there. What's this? Actually, where would this get on the bill this? In 2 years? When you check with me, that's hard to say, Mr. White. I would tell you that if you're going to build in the next 2 years, if you're building in the next 3 to 5 months, buy your building now. If you're going to buy a building in a year from now, come get to me about 3. We're so busy because everybody wants us to build a building. You can't blame them. Why? Because of what I'm talking over right now. But if you're waiting 2 years, I would say wait about 4 months, 5 months before you're ready to buy. And then again, we may pick up, but we're adding crews all the time, always increasing. And so, it's hard to say, but I'd wait 4 months. 4 months before you're ready to buy, for sure. We may be able to do it sooner, depending on what happens in that time frame. Okay. In-house engineer designs the trusses verified internally. No competitors have engineers on staff. They're sending their drawings to somebody who stamps them. If you're comfortable with that, with no calculations, but understand if you do that, and if there's a storm and you don't have that recorded at the permit office, they can deny your claim. That means you're making all these premium payments, the storm hits, and they get, they go to the permit. Where's the permit on this? Where's his drawings? Where's his calculations? He can deny your claim. Okay? I have a third-party inspection, and these trusses are third-party inspected here. A third party comes in from Houston, Texas, to verify that these trusses are being built to spec. Nobody else is doing that in this area. We're the only truss plant. You got a little truss plant, this pallet company, but I guarantee he's not third party in them. And if you go, I'd love for you to come see my plant and then go see their plant at that pallet plant, and you'll be running from there because it's archaic. It cannot be perfect. And when you build trusses, the cuts have got to be right. And you can't use stands and moving them around. We don't do that here. If you don't believe me, go there and come here and I'll show you. I can tell you the difference. And then remember, price match, $1,000. I'll beat anybody's price by $1,000, apples to apples. Now, let's go back to the top. My competitors are going to tell you, you don't need 26 gauge. You don't need 5 on 12. You don't need those 2x8 trusses. Oh, you don't need scissors. You don't need 170 mile an hour. You don't need that cable retention system. You don't need that concrete. You don't need them 2x12s, 4,000, skirt board, 4 y'all. but it's free. I'm going to give that to you and beat them by $1,000 on the same building they try to sell you. So tell me why you wouldn't want that. Why wouldn't you want a better building? Why wouldn't you want a stronger building? Why would you not want all this for free? Because it's free. I'm going to beat them by, you're going to save $1,000 on this building. Classic is what they sell. And everything I just listed, which they don't do, I'm going to give it to you for free. Can you imagine? Would you rather 2x6 trusses or 2x8 trusses? I'd take the 2x8 if they're free. Right? You want a pork chop or a steak? I'm selling steaks. They're selling pork chops. That's a fact. You want scissor trusses, more height, or you just want them standard trusses? It's free. 170 miles per hour on the trusses on the roof. And it's free and you don't want it? And you're going to gain $1,000? I don't know why I got to sell this, but I'll keep selling. I want to put concrete under every post. They won't do that. Why? They don't want it. They're saving money. I don't want your post to sink. It's free. 2x12 headers instead of a 2x8. 4 inches wider, stronger. It's free. 4,000 PSI versus 3,000 PSI. You want your concrete to be 33% stronger for free? I do. The problem with the free stuff, it makes the building stronger than anything they could ever build. Why would you do this? It's beyond me. Why you wouldn't want all these things and put $1,000 in your back pocket. Take your wife out to eat, buy probably 5 dinners, $200 a pop. Maybe you need to talk to your wife. Say, let's just go save that $1,000. And you're going to get a stronger building. Folks, there's just no comparison. Now, take the classic, and now let's talk about the elite, because when you jump to the elite, you get everything I just said, except now. Wait, this is on the classic. Is this the classic? The elite difference. Their trusses are on 10-foot center. I mean, their posts are on 10-foot. I'm going to put them on. Start putting the post closer. I'm going to put my trusses 3 foot, not 5 foot. I'm going to put my concrete to 6 inch with a 4,000 PSI. Still putting the concrete into the post. And I'm going to add post protectors to the elite. I'm going to put full roof and wall insulation, contiguous ridge vents, seamless gutters and gutter guards, wainscot if you want it, 145 miles an hour, not 130 miles an hour. 10-year workmanship, 4 years, verified by their engineer, who they send it to. He's not even in-house. And we have an in-house engineer. Wait, I'm sorry. This is how the elite is. I'm sorry. This is what we add to the elite. It is the best building, it's the strongest building. It was designed to do that. Why? Because we're in hurricane country. Laura hit the Gulf Coast probably at 155, anywhere from 150 to 170 miles per hour. 135 is fine. But if it's free, it's part of the building package, why would you not want to go with this stuff? Makes no sense to me, folks. When you start adding it up, it's called value. Value, value, value. It doesn't cost more. It costs less because it's got more value and it can take more and you get more. Now, we'll go over some permits codes. And today we're going to talk about Ascension Parish, Tangipahoa Parish, and let's get started. All right. In Louisiana, you have to follow the Uniform Construction Code, and parishes can make the code stronger. But at a minimum, they have to follow Louisiana State Uniform, which is monitored and ran by the Code Council, which my sidekick is on that board. He's the vice chair. All right. Unpermitted shirt may fail inspections, insurance validation, and resale. Very important, insurance validation. Remember, if you don't do this properly, and there's a storm, and the stamp and the calculations are not present, you may get the insurance company can turn you down to pay your damages. We don't want that to happen. All right, now let's go to Ascension Parish. Issues building, occupancy, remodeling, all the things you need. As of August 1st, roof replacement project must have a permit and inspection. Now it's done separately. Okay? The parish has codified its adoption of the International Building Code, with agricultural building appendix under its local ordinance. IBC code. Everything's running under the IBC code. For access driveways along public rights-of-way, culvert permits must be secured from the parish call center. So now you got to get that permitted. All commercial permit applications require a letter of approval from the Louisiana Department of Health prior to final parish permit approval. Okay? Hold on a second. Nothing. Let's keep going. All right, Tangipahoa Parish enforces the 2021 Building Code, 2020 NEC, effective January 1, 2023. All contract subcontractors must register with Tangipahoa's permit office for obtaining permits. Permit submission includes site address, survey or deed, flood determination, plan review, sewer approval if in sewer district. The parish uses an online permitting system for submitting and tracking permits, inspections, and commenting. Land clearing permits are required for parcels 5 acres or more, subdivision, or large developments. If you have any questions, and you're in those parishes, when you come here, we've got all the documentation on every parish. We can help you see exactly what you need to help you do that. Compliance must knows, I don't know what that says. What does that say? Hiring, what does that say? Hiring, that bat got in my way. I'll kill that bat when I get off here. Contractors must maintain proper licensing, residential, commercial trades to legally perform work. That's what I told you in the 5 red flags about the LSABC. You can call there and you're going to find out this information. It's very important you do this. That's where you're going to stay out of trouble. There's a lot of guys or people out there that will take your money and run. Always demand proof of general liability insurance and workers' comp. That's per LVC also. Submit fully sealed engineered plans, structure, wind foundation. Both parishes require plan review and permit issuance. Coordinate with parish early about flood zone, soil conditions, and site access to avoid costly change orders. And confirm inspection schedule, footing, framing, NEP, final, and get the CO, certificate of occupancy, before occupying. What's your question? Can you build these? I'm familiar with permacolumn. We do not build with the permacolumn, and we basically have never built with the permacolumn. We're going to go in the ground 3 to 4 feet, and we use the post protector. And the reason we don't need to use the permacolumn is because we protect our post with the post, which has a 500-year lifespan. And then we use our cable retention for uplift. I'm familiar with permacolumn, but I think the process we use is as good or better. Permacolumn process is okay, it's good. It's better than most, but I prefer to anchor into the ground. I think that's where you get your biggest wind load. I've been doing this 26 years, and I've been through 16 hurricanes, and I can tell you I like to have my posts anchored in the ground. But should they be protected? Of course. But I prefer to have, because think about it like this. There's 2 types of winds in this world. We have headwinds, we have uplift. Well, for uplift protection, that's where the mallet cable retention system comes in. But think about this, and if I had a chart, I'd draw it for you, but if I can explain it to you. If I'm building a 30 by 50 or whatever size building it is, and all my buildings are anchored 3 feet in the ground, okay? And then I'm going to pour the slab, and I'm going to put the cable retention system on there, okay? So that the cable retention system is about uplift, about having to lift that slab to take the building up. Now imagine all these posts are anchored 3 to 4 feet in the ground, and here comes a headwind. Okay? It has to shear them all at the same time. That's hard to do, unless it's a tornado. But imagine. Now, let me put it like, it's kind of like this. So when on the permacolumns, you're sitting on top of a slab. It's an anchoring system on top. They don't go in the ground, they go on top of the ground. So you don't need a post protector. No, Tim's right. He's right, and that's where I was going. Because they're above the ground, it's like a small column. It's just that all they do have to break. And concrete, you know, it cracks. You can have issues with that. But I prefer to be anchored 3 to 4 feet in the ground. Because when that wind hits my post, it's got to shear them all at the same time. And the proof in the pudding is I've been through 16 hurricanes, and I just don't lose buildings. And I don't lose buildings to uplift because we put the mallet cable retention system in. There are a lot of, you know, I'm very familiar with it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of it. If I thought it was better, I would do it. I don't think it's better. I think that the anchoring the post in the ground with a post protector is much stronger, and I would prefer over that. And I'll tell you something else about that. That will increase your costs by a lot of money. A lot. So it's not worth the dollar. And I don't think it's as powerful as the way we build them. Now, some people are putting posts in the ground. I don't agree with that because the organism's in the dirt, and I don't want the concrete to touch the post because then it will deteriorate. Okay? The other thing is, if you're not anchored to the slab, you can run into problems there too. That's why I also put concrete under the post because I don't want it to go down. If you design the building properly, the way we design buildings, you're not going to have any issues. But you have people out there who are trying to cut corners. By not putting any concrete under the hole, under the post, you're susceptible to sinkage because all is dirt. If you don't put a post protector, the organisms of the dirt could deteriorate the post. When you put a slab and you surround the post with the slab, it can deteriorate because you got chemicals in the concrete that can counter with the chemicals in the post. And if you there's pictures, and I can show you a picture, and if you Google it, you'll notice that when it happens, it's right there where the concrete touches the post. It actually, it'll make a wallow and it deteriorates right there. Oh, I'd love to see that picture. Send me that picture, Mr. Tackett, who's a good friend of ours, says he has a picture of a 16-foot high wall building that fell in a 55-mile-per-hour wind using permacolumn. Because you see, the higher you are, the more angle, then you start getting into tilt. You're so high, the wind's hitting, but the pressure, imagine the pressure down here on that permacolumn, that piece of concrete, it just snaps. Okay? And if one snaps, they all snap. Whereas in the posts, you're not going to snap one post, you're going to snap them all. Because they're all working in conjunction. They're all tied together, and you're not going to snap one, you have to snap them all. Unless, a tornado could do it, but if it's just a headwind, because they're all working together, that's why it's so strong. Yeah, that bracket. Yeah. Send me that picture, Mr. Tack. I'd love to have that picture. All right. Clarity and contrast, Ascension and Tangipahoa, what should you do? Feature. Okay, re-roof permit requirement, yes, since August 1, 2025, as part of general permit regime. Contractor registration, state licensing, and local building department must register with Parish Permit Office first. Online permitting accepts digital plan submissions and payments, and land clearing development use land development code and field drain culvert rules via LDC. If you don't do this, they're going to shut you down. That's a fact. All right, action steps. Early site review, confirm flood maps, driveway constraints. So if you're going to buy, the first thing you ought to do is you ought to go down to your permit office, or if you come here, we'll do it, we'll help you and go through it with you. And review where your requirements are, and then see how your site matches up to the requirements. If you're in a flood zone, you're going to have to build differently than just standard. You're probably going to have to elevate, build a pad, something, but there's going to be some stuff in there that's going to change it. So it's important you go there first. Submit complete sealed drawings to Parish with all required documents, survey, LDH letter, deed, etc. You should get all your ducks in a row before you build a building, and we'll be glad to help you. Use the Parish's digital portal if available to reduce delays. Track inspections meticulously. Never close walls until approved. That's something else. We're willing to be the contractor of record on any job. There's a fee for that because we take over and we put somebody on the job. Everybody pretty much chooses to be their own contractor of record because they want to save money. I get it. That's okay. But when you choose to do that, there are requirements for you to call inspectors in every phase of the deal. For instance, right off the bat, you need to call Dottie, make sure there's no water lines, power lines, all that stuff, because you're the contractor of record. If you hire us and pay us the percentage we require, we'll do all for you. It's your call. It costs for us to be there. If you want to be your own contractor, which you can at this moment in time, but there may be a new, if it's under 50,000, I think over 50,000, there's some things about to change that. But bottom line is, you need to go to the parish, understand what you're getting into. What's the matter?
Someone sent us stars.
Thank them for the stars.
It's money.
Oh, okay. Before closing or plugging in utilities, obtain the parish, okay? Oh, let me go. Look at me. I'm looking. Y'all getting me confused with all them footballs. All right, that's our show for today. Look, if y'all need a building, give us a call at 337-515-2154 or call the office at 337-214-0428. In closing, I would just reiterate to you, You can go hire a contractor who can build your building in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But there's a reason why he's only out 2 or 3 weeks. There's a reason why people wait for a mallet builder. Okay? Just be aware of that. There's some guys, and it's because nobody wants to do business with them. And they're convincing people to buy from them because of the quickness. You know, don't get in a hurry. Plan this deal. Take your time, and it'll come out well. But again, once again, thank y'all for listening. Hey, y'all keep, oh, she's got 8-foot balls. Y'all keep going for those tickets. We thank y'all for joining us. Hey, tell your friends about us. Share this. You got to share it too now. You do know that. You got to share this with your friends. We need that share out there. All right. Thank y'all for listening.